But I just feel once you lock in the number
It's
one, what are you really playing for? You know what I mean?
not for nothing. Is they say that it's the number one. They don't outside of AD. They don't really defend. And Danny Green's like shooter right now. He hasn't been hitting shots, so
He's a bit,
it's
yeah,
just
he's a
really
disappointment.
it's make or break AD. It's
Mm.
to break AD. Like AD's got like I think they're gonna blow through the first round, but like not even trolling. Like I don't see how they beat the Clippers unless I don't know something happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a Fendi fact, man. Jiggy, I'm not trying to get you started early and upset. I'm just going off what we've seen so far in the bubble. It's tough to what we've seen because I had hesitancy before COVID, but since we've been back, I don't know, man. They just look
I just
suspect.
feel like it's so different. Like
the problem is, I think that like Rondo and Avery Bradley being gone is just a little bit, but it's a lot. Like with Avery Bradley out there, we're the best defensive team in the league.
yeah, because you got him and Danny on the wings.
Yeah, you got so the starting five was Braun at the one, then you had McGee, Davis, and then Dwight Howard comes in. And you have LeBron who like defends like now when he wants to, and then you have Danny Green and Bradley, and it's like that's a really good defensive team.
Right,
Yeah,
facts.
and Avery Bradley hit three.
Yeah, and like Avery Bradley could put the ball on the floor, 1-2 dribble, mid range.
Yeah, he could attack the rim. Like he's
So
his numbers aren't crazy, but he's a big piece.
Oh shit!
What happened?
Jakey, strange.
For real. You got ghosts in that house, man. He told me that was a safe neighborhood.
Nah,
I'm still heated that chick was roasting my Wi-Fi, man. I had to switch spots in the crib and everything.
yeah, you funny as shit.
I had me dying. All I know, bullying tactics in the group chat earlier today.
bully tactics. Heavy bully tactics.
I just knew your energy was gonna be different if it was the other way around. That's how I wasn't letting it slide. Nah. I don't have none of that nut. What the hell is that in your hand?
Bro, you got a bird flying around here?
A bird?
There's a bird in my house.
Jeez, that's what happens.
How you get a bird in your house?
This guy.
I don't know, man.
Door open.
I just left it open so it'll fly out. Nah, that shit scared the fuck out of me.
What it did? What it do?
This guy got a broom looking like Harry Potter.
Got to, man. That's how you shoot him out the house.
I hear you.
All right, so we're gonna bounce around a little bit today. I want to talk like, a little entertainment, a little sports, a little social justice. But yeah, man, the topic that's heavy on everybody's mind, and if you see the bird in here and I go chase it, just keep on going. It's because it's Cardi's song. Cardi B, Meg the Stallion, new song, WAP, wet ass, you know what? Dropped, what was it, Friday?
Yeah.
New video, #1 slop in every playlist that you could see on Spotify, iTunes, and I'm assuming Tidal too. How do you guys feel about the song? How do y'all feel about the video?
Song's good. Song's like, it's a good song. Like, the video, obviously, like, for obvious reasons, we was all big fans of the video. Just think like...
What's the obvious reasons that America wants to know? What's the obvious reasons?
Seeing beautiful women.
Some hoes in this house.
Yeah, that's what we want to hear, man. Shake that ass. Nah, I'm joking. But I just been like kind of, it's a good point that Zine brought up, like social media now and like, the Twitter, we always talk about Twitter and everybody kind of having the opportunity with a platform to say something. We're seeing a lot of like, crazy, like, tweets of people attacking Cardi and Meg like they did the like craziest thing in the world, not realizing that we've had like, you know, Little Kim, Foxy Brown, Madonna, shit like that. That's been like kind of like, you know, happening as far as like music being like, you know, sexualized. So, I mean, that's good publicity for them. If they're talking about it, you know, that's the purpose of, you know, putting out a track like that. It did numbers. So, I mean, happy with it.
Yeah, I love the song, man. It just brings that energy, that vibe, like women empowerment, just women unity. I think Cardi really sat down with a team and came up with an A plan. First of all, just that acronym and then just that sound WAP. Now you can get away with that and what that means moving, you know, forward in regards to that. Took a classic beat, you know, that basement party, you know, sweaty weave, Jamaican hallway vibes, you know what I'm saying? Just lean against the wall and get your twerk on. That's what I appreciate about it. And it just generated crazy energy. I'm talking everything with the rollout. The picture that's behind me right now, the exclusive vinyl picture. It got the barbs going crazy. Like, oh my God, Megan, you did something with Cardi, because they're still trying to ignite that beef. And then not for nothing, putting Kylie Jenner was the most smartest thing ever. Just hate it or love it. It had people talking, and I think it's becoming something iconic, because I was just reading that we got Republicans out there tweeting at Cardi B, and she's responding to it as she should, to generate that buzz about banning the song, censoring the song, getting it off radio, the content of it. But I'm like I said, man, it's a new day with women. With, you know, it started with hotties, and it started with Hot Girl Summer. It started with OnlyFans. It started with, you know, strippers being strippers, hoes being hoes, and women not caring and taking control of their body, man. I think Cardi, whoever her ghostwriters was for this one, they bodied it. Megan's flow on there, she bodied it. And it was just an immaculate visual, talking about the artwork and the visual for it. So I hope it goes number one. I hope it does a lot of success. You guys know I'm a huge Cardi B fan. I don't know, what's her, Barty Gang? Is that what it is? I'm a Barty Gang.
Yeah, and Megan.
Yeah, I'm a Barty Gang. I'm a Hardy. You know what I'm saying? I don't really mess with the Bobs like that, but that's a whole nother topic.
No, I mean, yeah.
I don't really like the song. Like, the song is whatever. The video is dope. I mean, like, I know we've had this conversation in the group chat, so I mean, I'm just a little bit different. Like, I don't really like Cardi B. I'm not really attracted to her. I find her obnoxious, but I do think that she has the right to make the kind of music she wants to make. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and she's very successful. You know, I love the Stallion. You know what I'm saying? I think she's great. But the song is just like whatever to me. The video is lit. You know, it did what it was supposed to do. And if Cardi's dropping an album soon, you know what I'm saying, this is the perfect segue into her dropping her second project. You know what I'm saying? Her team and label know exactly what they're doing. I don't really have a problem with I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, you know.
No. Keep that energy when you brought to the chat. Like, when you initially heard the content.
Yeah, when I was like, yo, this is like audio porn. It really. But I don't really have a problem with it. I think that the only issue is that the only thing I would say is, like, there's really, if you have kids, there's no way to censor it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. Like I mean, I know you can put like a block on YouTube, right? But
yeah.
Can you put a block on like the Apple Music?
I don't know if you could put a block on the Apple Music, but I mean, kids either way, if they're gonna find it, they're gonna find it. It's not.
Thank you.
This is not the like craziest song of all time.
It's one of them. It's up there. I mean, you know, like 2 Live Crew, they did what they did in the 90s, but there was like a barrier where like you had to go to the store and at least buy it. You know what I'm saying? And they caught a lot of flack for it. And the thing is, like, I don't have a problem with Cardi B and Megan making the music, and you know what I'm saying. If people want to consume it, I think they should. But I'm gonna say that I don't have a problem with people who are genuinely offended by it. Not like these like Republicans who are like doing it for like attention, clout, and they have no idea what goes on inside our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't really have a problem with it, but I would just say like, damn, like there really is no way to censor it. Like if your 12-year-old has Apple Music, they can listen to it.
Yeah, I hear you,
but isn't that what kind of happened if we had LimeWire when we was 12? We was able,
right. They're gonna go get it regardless. Yeah,
we're gonna get it regardless.
Right. The reason why BET
but that's a problem too.
But the reason why BET Uncut was so successful was because it was cutting edge. The videos was, you know, the Nelly tip drill, so on and so forth. And so when you got songs like After Police,
you can't even watch tip drill on YouTube. You have to go search it out on some special like Vimeo or something like that. Like
but I remember 3 a.m. that BET Uncut, that tip drill used to play.
Yeah, 3 a.m. Like, you know, it's like, you know, it's. I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Listen, I don't have a problem with it. Like, yo, I remember when Lil' Kim's album came out. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? She had raunchy music. And it's like crazy because I feel like Lil' Kim really is the blueprint for everything that came after her.
Yeah, she was.
She was.
The
busting it wide open.
Like, yeah, she was. But I think TV is like changing in general. Like everything. I don't really, with all the streaming services now, you don't really watch TV like you used to before. So when like you watch Netflix, you watch Disney Plus, Hulu, and then if you don't watch that, for the most part, I'm watching sports.
Yep.
And now that I've kind of been home more, I'm more like able to watch like, you know, TV, see certain shows. And they're saying words on TV, like they're saying fuck, they're saying shit, they're saying bitch. That was never able to be said on TV before. So
Right.
all in all, like, you know, things is changing. So I mean,
and now for nothing, you make a lot of great points too, because not for nothing, even now, it was a time where you didn't see homosexuality type relationships on TV. Now they're kissing every show, groping every show. Like it's
there's a cartoon where it's like I think it's two men that are like, you know, in a relationship and have like I forget the name of it, but I mean, all in all, there was however you chop it up, like there was always gonna be people that was upset with the song. I mean, I saw it. I saw the song, the video. I mean, obviously it is raunchy. It is what it is. But like, I didn't be like, damn, this is like wild black sex or like what's the HD black whatever it's called, whatever the site is called. I was like, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean.
Listen, hold on. All jokes aside, like I've listened to like Lil' Kim albums, Foxy albums. We all listened to Doggy Style in the verse that just came out. But they went there. Like I'm not mad at it because it is what it is. But yo, Cardi and Megan, like they went there, bro. Like they really went there.
And I love it, and I appreciate them for it.
Zine, who you thought looked best in the video?
Meg for sure.
Meg,
Yeah, Meg for sure.
No, first of all, I gotta address it.
Go ahead, address it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Good.
Yo, listen. So I sent the video to the chat around 12:22 p.m. I mean, 12:22 a.m. on that Friday. You know what I'm saying? I'm up late doing schoolwork. I'm like, oh, here it is. And the first comment that Kazim sent to the chat was Kylie with mad hard eyes, and I'm
I was more.
I'm not done yet. And I'm like, out of all the beautiful women that was in that video, from a Cardi to a Meg, you know how I feel about Meg, to Normani and all these other women that was in it, the first thing that stood out to you was Kylie. Can you kind of explain that for us? Just wondering.
Well, first of all, it was just more of a shock. Like, what's she doing in this video? Secondly, she did look amazing. Real, fake, bought, whatever. I'm not hearing all the haters with all that stuff because a lot of chicks out there bought how they look and we give them compliments. And then secondly, it was just more of the reason why I spoke on it. They gave her a whole 45 seconds of slow-mo, mid-video, mid-pause, and I'm just like, what is going on? And it did just caught my eye. So it was a combination of both, man. But I do not discriminate, man. You know what I mean?
Support black women?
Of course I do. Of course I do. We got to protect them at all costs.
Just joking. But I don't know. Me and Dot both did notice that in the chat, and I filed it away.
That was kind of crazy.
That was kind of crazy. Oh my God.
Kylie was the first thing that came to your mind. 21-year-old Kylie.
I think now you're throwing age in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys are sick, man.
What's okay? But now, yo, no funny business, man. Yo, Meg Thee Stallion is bad.
Yeah, facts.
Bad, bro. She's moving good off that injured foot. She ain't letting that stop her, man.
Tory really dropped the ball, man. And not for nothing, Dot, you brought up a good point. Moneybagg Yo resume is up there now with hip-hop.
It's up there.
It's up there. And that's off 2 that we know of. I don't know what his BMs look like, all 10 of them.
I see the BM was on
Yeah, the BM was all right.
She was wilding because she was upset that he bought Ari the car.
Oh, yeah, the Range Rover. You right.
The Lambo truck.
Yeah, the Lambo truck. Yeah. You right about that.
His resume is very.
We gotta give Moneybagg his credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm interested to see because I did watch a YouTube video show and they were talking about misogyny in hip hop, and some points were made that men far from perfect, but women really kind of indulge in this, and I actually favorited a tweet that I wanted to share before we move to our next topic, because we were talking maybe 2 shows ago about Rhapsody.
Yeah.
We were talking about Rhapsody, and Rhapsody said, on my end, especially when it comes to misogyny in hip hop, you hear that men are always sexualizing women, that men don't support women unless they're naked. It's crazy when I hear this argument because it's a false narrative when it comes to me. My biggest supporters have been men. When I look at my analytics, my fan base is 77% men. I'm fully clothed, and I have a hard time getting women to listen to me. When Lauren came out, it was men that were on Lauren first during the Fugees. Women really didn't come around to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album. Which I mean, I was young at that time, but Fugees went diamond.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, girls don't want to, like, if you ever ride in a car with a bunch of females, like 90% of the time, if you're playing something that's like lyrically based, they're gonna tell you to change it. They want to hear like the City Girls, Nicki Minaj. If it's not R&B, they want to hear Cardi. They want to hear that like commercial music. A lot of women don't really like I can't see, like, I don't know. Like, it's tough for my experiences.
And that's what I've been saying that for years, man. I'm telling you, like, women hate on other women more. You know what I'm saying? Like, men, we just go with the flow, whatever the case may be. But the support that these females are talking about in the rap game, it just comes from other females. Because if you hot, you hot. If you're spitting, you're spitting. If it's a dope track, it's a dope track. And Rhapsody makes great music. And I'm glad that she put that tweet out there, like, nah, men, they support. They buy my music. They come to my shows with their Tim boots as well. You know what I mean? She's trying to get the women to come support her. So I'm glad that's out there, man. I'm glad you saved that tweet.
Definitely, man. And I mean, as y'all know, I'm a huge Rhapsody fan, man. So if you listen to this podcast, America, go check out her last 2 albums. Amazing music. So moving us forward, me and Dot have been digesting the No Limit documentary. Really enjoying it. You know, it's been covering so far. It's been 4 episodes. It covered, you know, like the background of Master P and his family, all the way to now. Like, you know what I'm saying, No Limit is like basically on top of the game. So just quick reaction from Dot and Zeem. I don't know if you've seen it, and then we can kind of get into what our favorite hip hop dynasties were and what do we think was the biggest dynasty.
Did you get a chance to watch it, Z?
Nah, I have not. It's on my DVR. Obviously, whatever's on social media with the different clips. I definitely know the whole Limit backstory. Obviously, I know there's some innuendo stories that I will not know or things that may or may have not known. So I'm going to let you speak on it, but then I'll give you my favorite dynasty.
Nah, it's interesting because I didn't know that, like, you know, growing up and you're listening to his music, you know he's from the South. You know he's from New Orleans. But he's always shouting out, like, Cali. And it was kind of interesting to see that, like, he moved to Cali, and that's what kind of made, like, you know, gave him his start. And I didn't know that he was, like, the Tupac gave him the chance to open up for him. That was, like, kind of like his first, like, you know, mainstream tours with Tupac. That was really cool to see. And Master P, I'm like, this guy really, like, he don't get his flowers, because it's like he's responsible for a lot of the independent stuff that's, like, you know, happening today. Like, he really went in there and was like, listen, I'm gonna do it my way. You're not gonna tell me how to do it. And he went and proved it. Like, a lot of people in business, the one thing that I've learned is if you ever want something to, like, you know, work out for you, you have to have, like, you know, you have to have a plan, and you have to show the person that you want to invest in you how you're going to execute that plan. And they made a really good, like, they noticed something really good in the documentary that, like, you know, he went to, I think it was Priority Records at the time, and he got, like, he got an 80-20 deal with them. So, like, 80% of the profit went to him and 20% went to them. And basically he did all the work, and their job was basically to get it out in stores, all of that. So it was just like, damn, this dude's really self-made, from the basketball, from clothing, from music. Even his battles with Suge Knight was kind of dope to kind of learn. He didn't back down from Suge. How he really helped. Snoop Dogg was broke. If it wasn't for Master P, we probably wouldn't know the Snoop that we know today. So definitely a lot of information and stuff that I didn't know about.
Where do you think, like, I don't know, maybe it was just me, or I like, where do you think Master P went wrong in the sense of we didn't see him with the top tier? Because for a little while, not him per se, but he was viewed a little corny-ish. I don't know if that's safe to say. I don't want to disrespect him, but it was a point where he had opportunity to really shine, but then all of a sudden, No Limit, like, you know, I'm in Chad, we love No Limit, Cash Money, but then all of a sudden it was like a 2-3 year gap where it turned gimmicky or corny-ish. Then you had the fake No Limit chains that was like, I don't know if you guys want to speak on that. I don't know if they touched on that, but
he did. So basically he was like, what he was doing. So you remember that movie I'm About It?
Yeah, yep.
So he sold that movie for $10, and he produced it, financed it himself. I think he spent like $200,000-$300,000 on it, and ended up making $20 million off of just selling it, like, himself. You know what I'm saying? So what went wrong was, I think one year, and Josh, you could correct me if I'm wrong, he put out 23 albums that went out gold or platinum 1 year. So that's kind of crazy in itself. What kind of went wrong for him was, I feel like Master P, and he admitted it too. He's like, yo, you're never gonna view me as one of the top rappers. That was never my goal. My goal was to come in here and be a businessman and make the most money I can. I didn't want to be rapping forever because I knew, like, rap's not where I'm gonna make my money. So I think all of his business ventures, because you got to remember, and No Limit, he's the boss. That's his own record label. So
right.
Responsible for everybody. So where I think he went wrong, from watching the documentary, he had too much going on that after a while when he started getting on, because I think at one point he was, like, worth something crazier, like probably almost 500 mil or something like that. I think where he went wrong, he had too much on his plate outside of music, and he wasn't able to, like, you know, be there for his artists or put them in the correct positions. And he's very militant. Like, that No Limit stuff, that's what he believes in. Like his grandfather was in the military. So it's like, yo, if you're not going to do it my way, then this is my business, go somewhere else. So that everybody's going to, as a man or a woman, you're not always going to be down with something like that.
So I'm gonna piggyback on that because like the same thing that Zeem's talking about, like, yo, like the whole Chad Brown love, no limit. Like each side, it was like law, like you had to love No Limit. Like before every game, it was No Limit. Before every rec league game, it was No Limit. I think that where Master P went wrong, just from what I can remember what I seen in the documentary. So the documentary is showing something you left out that was key was when he lost Beats by the Pound.
Yeah, when that was like his, like, you know, Just Blaze, like,
yeah,
for all the bangers, and they left. That's true.
So he lost Beats by the Pound, and then like you gotta understand too, like what allows like a Jay-Z to keep rocking is like, all right, so Jay-Z was basically carrying the rock from '96 to 2004. Then you know, and then you got artists like a Kanye, like a Cameron, that carry, you know, that can carry on when you step back, and they don't need as much help. Like they don't need everything for them. Like Kanye knows how to make an album. Dipset knows how to make an album. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like he had like C Murder, Silk the Shocker, Mia X, and all these people that like were depending on him for the structure. And to be fair, like Master P's a kind of dude like, yo, like I'm riding with what got me here and with my people until the wheels fall off. Like Jay-Z, Diddy, and other people, like they'll kind of move away from you if they feel like you're not like you're not hot no more, you're not cool no more. Like, yo, like how like Jay-Z had like Rockaware, and then even after a while he sold it and stopped wearing it. Like Master P would never sell his own like he would never give up on his own clothing line or sneaker and be like, yo, like, all right, cool, I'm gonna just start wearing like all the fancy designers like how people do now and move to something else. He's always gonna keep his business owned by him, whether it's skyrocketing or falling apart.
Shit can get uglier than a Master P sneaker.
But but even his success was so crazy. It was like he put out those 23 albums that went gold or platinum, and then, but like even when he lost everybody and he kind of was gonna make his comeback with music, he still had 5. And like he made a good point. Like if a record label has 1 platinum album in a year, that's good. And then after like shit hit the fan when Silk the Shocker run was over, when C ended up getting locked up, Lil Romeo kind of carried them for a little bit. Lil Romeo, wow, but he was like a big artist at the time. You know?
And then took over Nickelodeon.
Yeah, exactly. And Master P's he's such a hustler. He's always gonna find a way to be relevant or to, like, you know, make money.
And then to us, it's just like different, bro. Like if you talk to dudes in the South, like they're probably feeling way differently about a Master P than even we are. Like, and even like how I was telling y'all in the chat, Master P, like the best albums on No Limit that people was playing back in the day really wasn't necessarily Master P's album. It was the Silk the Shocker, Charge It to the Game, C Murder's album, Mystical's album. Like that's what we was listening to. And Master P was just kind of like the entry level. He was like the gateway drug into that whole No Limit movement that was crazy for like 2 or 3 years. And then Cash Money comes right up behind it. You know what I'm saying? And they have a different sound and newer, fresher artists. And sometimes that's just the way it goes.
And not for nothing, there's no Cash Money
without No Limit.
Master P. And Cash, whatchamacallit, Baby, and what's his brother, the tall dude?
Slim.
He comes to Master P and he wanted to get a distribution deal with No Limit. But Master P, from the way Master P explained it, Master P like stuff his way. And what's his name? Baby wanted to do it his own way. So that's why they never kind of like, you know, but Master P proving that the independent route worked so good that was able to, for Cash Money to get an even better deal as far as like, you know, distribution and everything like that.
All right, so let's hop into what do you think is the best hip hop crew of all time?
Best hip hop crew, man, that's tough.
Cause I have my favorite but then I have to be realistic. You want me to come back to you?
Yeah, you go.
You let us know.
All right, so my own personal favorite, is just because I just grew up on them. I just dress like them. I can spit bar for bar. One time, the second best in the crew was regarded with on the same level as Lil Wayne, and that's Dipset. You know what I mean? Like Cameron, Jewels, Hell Rel, Ruger, Uncasa. Like I just love that whole movement. Diplomatic Immunity 1 and 2 are just classic albums. Everything that they came out their camp, Purple Haze, just everything, man. I just love what Dipset did for me personally growing up. But if I have to be realistic, I would have to say Cash Money. And Cash Money 1, and then Cash Money era when you had the Hot Boys, and then you got to filter it. It's still under the same umbrella. Cash Money 2, Young Money, Lil Wayne's venture, Young Money, what do you call it? Young Money, Cash Money, whatever, Millionaires, whatever. And that whole second wave, even when you add Little Twist and the people that he tried to put on, you know what I'm saying? Not even speaking of the Drakes and the Nicki. So I got to go with Cash Money, the best of all time, with a hard second runner-up with Rockefeller did.
No, I would say that too. I would say Dipset is my personal favorite. Like, I love Jim Jones, love Cam, like Hell Rel, like even when they like the Bird Game movement, like 40 Cal and all them dudes, like I was a huge fan. But I honestly think probably Cash Money, and because they was able to be a group, and then they was able to go off and have their own success. Like I know Baby and Manny Fresh, they had that Big Timers thing going on, which was a hit success. Lil Wayne, Juvenile. So, like, you was always excited to see, like, give me a project. You always want to hear them.
Yeah.
And then after, I would say probably, I feel like if Jay-Z wasn't so business-oriented, I feel like Rock Nation would have been able to kind of surpass, or if maybe those Philly guys would have been on their job, been able to surpass Cash Money. So I'll say them.
I think that my favorite rap crew probably is Rockefeller, like Rockefeller Rough Riders. So I would say the biggest label, it's probably a tie between Cash Money, because they're the only people I've seen have 2 runs. And then I would have to say maybe Death Row, because they had Tupac, Snoop, and Dre. That's 3 of the biggest artists in the history of music. I would say if you want to count just Dre going from NWA to freaking Death Row to Shady Aftermath with the whole G Unit, Eminem, Obi Trice, that's pretty, like, but I mean, because he was with Jimmy Iovine the whole time, but it's not all the same label, even though he did own part of Death Row. So I would have to say I would give it to Cash Money because of that second win. Even if the second win wasn't as big as it was, it's still like I never seen a like when those like independent labels go all the way down to the ground and then come all the way back up. Honestly, like they were kind of better than they were when they first got started.
Right. All right, let me ask you this. You gotta, like how we do with basketball, you gotta start, bench, and cut. All right? So here's the 3 groups. Dipset, Rough Riders, G Unit. Who you starting, who you sitting, and who you cutting. I'll repeat it again. Dipset, Rough Riders, G Unit.
I would start Dipset. See, but the thing is, I want to.
No, I don't need no filters.
Bench Rough Riders and cut G Unit. But that's because like on Rough Riders, I only like Eve, The Locks, DMX, but then I wasn't really too into like Drag On and so it's just. But that's what I'm doing.
Jiggy, who you sitting? Who you benching? Oh yeah, who you starting, benching? Who you cutting?
I'm cutting Dipset. I'm probably starting G Unit and benching Rough Riders.
That was my question, so I ain't answering. So we can move on.
Nah, you gotta answer.
Nah, I'm definitely starting Dipset. I'm starting Dipset. Wow, it's crazy for me to say this. I'm benching G Unit and I'm cutting Rough Riders. Yeah, but that's tough pill to swallow. But too many heavy hitters, man. But I'm just shocked. I'm shocked. Dot said Rough Riders because his favorite rappers in Rough Riders, and he cut them.
I would have to cut Dipset because a lot of their music got like to me they never had the peak of a Rough Riders or a G Unit, and their music got like a little repetitive.
Because I think that's because of their, sticking to certain beat, producers. You know what I mean? I'll leave it at that.
Yep. That's valid. I mean, you can't go wrong either way, really.
Right. Facts.
So hot topics in the chat is the NBA bubble. Do you want to do NBA bubble or we want to talk NFL? I mean, college football. Maybe not starting up.
We can go bubble since I'm watching this Lakers and Nuggets game right now.
Yo, Michael Porter Jr. is legit, bro.
Yeah, nice. and just to speak on what I'm noticing with the bubble is just, you remember when I was telling, I told you guys I was listening to a podcast and they were just talking about the depth of how the arena looks and the backdrop and not having real fans and no pressure in that regard. And, in the bubble, all you think about is basketball. When you're in the real world, you can come to an arena and just argued with your side chick or just got cussed out by your BM or someone, road rage or whatever, where I'm noticing like TJ Warren, Austin Rivers, Michael Porter Jr., Gary Trent. These guys are just shooting lights out. And I'm not saying they're not capable of doing it, but it's looking like ease to these players that normally don't show up like that. But once again, what I'm loving about these 8 seeding games that I took for granted that these guys are really playing for these final seedings and people are matching up on who they really want to play in the first round and who they want to avoid in the first round as well.
Yeah. Nah, but what I've seen with the NBA, with the bubble, it's a lot of scoring for some guys because those rims are so dead. So, like, when you, like, kind of hit them, some of them bounce and it just kind of drops in. And then, like, the point you made, Zim, about there's no fans. You can focus in on, like, your offense more. The backdrop is black, so it's, like, easy for, like, certain – not easy, but, like, it's, like, easier for certain jump shooters to, like, kind of get certain stuff off. Who I like in the bubble so far, because, like, we do so much with, like, our jobs, reffing. We don't really get to see every game like how we're seeing everything now. Like,
right.
I knew Luka was good, but he's serious. Like, he might be top 5 in the league right now. Like, this that can do what he does right now. Like, he can score it. He can pass it. He can go get 20 rebounds if you need him to. And
ooh!
Bang one.
Wow, AD just caught something vicious. My apologies. Holy. Oh, my God. I knew I should have picked AD tonight, too. My bad, Doc.
Nah, it's all good, but, Luka, just been surprised with him. TJ Warren doing this thing, but, yeah.
I think that a lot of what we're seeing in the bubble is kind of like, it reminds me of, like, the last, like, 10 games of, like, a regular season where, like, people are trying to get to the playoffs. Like, you always see, like, some weird teams go on little runs and be like, oh, man, like, how you have, like, the Phoenix Suns who's like, dang, like, they're looking kind of, like, good. Can they carry this momentum into next season? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that because, teams like the, like the 2 LA teams, like the Milwaukee team, even like Boston to a certain extent, maybe a few other teams, they want to play good and create chemistry, but there's really nothing really on the line for them, especially because there is no home court. You know what I mean? Like that was one thing I was gonna be looking forward to if the two LA teams met in the Western Conference Finals. I was gonna be like, yo, like all 7 games, if it went 7, would be Laker home games.
Right.
So, like, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad to see like Michael Porter Jr., the T.J. Warrens, D Book. D Book looks great.
Oh my God.
But I'm interested to see when the playoffs start, them guys that was playing free and easy, it ain't gonna be so free and easy anymore.
Right.
Like, you know, I told y'all in the beginning there could be a weird outcome to this. There really could be a weird outcome, like Houston win the championship, maybe Boston, somebody that we're not thinking of, like gets hot, you know, and it's almost like an AAU tournament style. But I mean, you know, I think anyone that wins the championship is gonna get mad love. But I know that if the Lakers win, it's gonna be heavy asterisks. Heavy asterisks.
Nah, because LeBron already been making excuses talking about shit going on off the court.
Right, can't talk about it.
I don't like that.
I see it developing. Anytime he knows there's a chance he may not, it's not clear, like, you know, the path isn't set to get there, he start this shit. I see.
He's setting it up. Man. And all I know is a lot of people's view of Kawhi Leonard is going to change after this bubble. And if he does what I expect him to do, I am making a case that he deserves to be in the top 12 of all-time players, NBA.
Kawhi?
No.
Kawhi.
No.
I mean, they're going to say that. They're going to
Three finals MVPs, 3 different cities, 3 different franchises. And if he continues this reign of, you know, first team all NBA, which he's going to continue to do, he's going to be an MVP candidacy. It's coming.
He's not going to be first team all NBA, is he?
This year?
So. Yeah, this year? So. Yeah.
Why?
Why? He missed too many games.
Nah, Kawhi's going to definitely be first.
Nah, he's making it first.
So, bro.
We'll see.
That got to be the only reason is the games.
I know that 2 of them forward. I know 2 of them up, like, because it's a center, 2 forwards, and 2 guards, right?
Yeah.
I think they keep that formula.
Yeah. I don't understand how you can have LeBron James and you have
Greek freak.
I don't see how Kawhi can get it over them.
Shooting guard, you put him at shooting guard.
Nah, he's not.
You gotta get him in there. That labeling stuff is whack, boy. You do make a point. You might have a point right there if that's the case. I can't dispute that. Because LeBron and Greek Freak are both, you know, MVP finalists. You know what I mean?
Yo, I think that the difference, like, I think that why people aren't gonna view Kawhi like that is because the thing I always told you that really kind of made me mad about the Spurs is that the Spurs always felt like they didn't have to do their part in terms of like carrying like the league. And like Kawhi wants to load manage, he wants to sit out all these games. And when you look at the guys that's in that top 10, top 20 all-time list, these are dudes that really help carry the league. And for whatever reason, like, that's not important to Kawhi, and that's fine because he's a great player, and I'm not mad at him if that's what he chooses to do. But, like, even he'll have 3 chips with 3 different franchises, and he's not even in the same ballpark as LeBron James. And I don't like LeBron.
Nah,
what do you mean by the? What do you mean by the same
he's for sure in the same ballpark. But that's what I don't. That's what I don't like sometimes. Like, my thing is, like, all right, we love, like, man, it's gonna come over. I gotta say it. Like, we love Adam Silver. He did a good job. But, like, if I ever got to the point where, like, a LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard, like, with all due respect, like, you know, if I'm able to get away with something, fuck how they feel, fuck how the fans feel. Fuck how the fans feel, because if something go wrong with me today, none of them is going to care. And while I respect Kawhi so much, he does it his way. Like, you know, I'm going to get paid. when I'm out there, I'm going to give you my best effort. And if I feel like I shouldn't play, and if I feel like I'm good enough where I'm putting myself at risk to not be 100% for you, I'm going to sit out as many games as possible. And maybe that's his brand of how he handles things to help him off the court. But I respect it. Everywhere he's been, he's kind of produced. Like, he came in to the Spurs, young boy, kind of established that role as, like, the defender, the do-everything guy, could kind of score a little bit. Then he gradually worked on his game, became the best player on the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Forced his way out, went to Toronto, won a chip. Regardless of how he won it. But then now he's at the Clippers. The Clippers have never really been relevant ever in life. And
they were relevant with CP3 and Blake. Stop it.
Not like how they are now.
I think they were. They were, but they just didn't get it done. Like, people was talking about them as being contenders all this time, and used to get mad about it.
But we're not talking about, like, we never had them beating the Lakers. We never had them beating the Lakers. We never had them beating Golden State. At least I didn't. So,
a lot of people. Well, I mean, they actually beat Golden State in the playoffs.
But I'm talking about when. Like,
that was young boy Golden State.
I'm talking
but that's when they was like.
So after 2 years of not getting out the first round, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Clippers don't get out the first round, I think that'll be the way bigger upset than CP3 and Blake not getting out the first round.
And it was no big deal when the Clippers lost. It wasn't. God forbid this Clippers lose second round.
It'll be big news.
If the Clippers lose, bro, it'll only be people who really love the Lakers driving it, because we can say what we want, and, like, I do think that the Clippers are a very good team, but they don't drive anything. Like, they don't drive ratings during the games, and no one wants to talk about them on these shows unless it's Shannon or Nick Wright getting upset and but when they lose. I'm just saying that Kawhi Leonard is a great player. He's one of the best players of this era. But when we look back and think about Kawhi's career, no one's going to hold him in the regard of a LeBron James.
See, so what I'm noticing from you is, if you generate clicks, if you open up first segment, that puts you on another level. Tim Duncan is a top 5, top 7 player of all time, just doing him, being him.
You don't hear about Spurs until they make the Western Conference Finals. That's when you kind of
but the Spurs, like, that's their brand. Like, their brand is like, yo, we don't really care.
That's Kawhi's brand.
But that's what you have to build that up, Josh. Like, not for nothing, if they do get to a championship this year, or even if they get to the Western Conference Finals this year, that's something that they've never done before. So it has to start somewhere. You don't.
But you said in the chat verbatim that if the Clippers win the championship, it'll just be like how, like, when, like, Toronto won the championship. It'll be
in the sense that there was a team that, like, no one's really is a team that really no one expected to, like,
But people are picking them over the Lakers.
Did you ever think in your life Toronto Raptors would win an NBA championship? I never thought the Clippers would be in a championship. They've sucked ever since I've known basketball for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the Clippers say they win a championship. So they win a championship. Let's say like they win a championship October 12th. Free agency starts October 14th, and we're gonna be talking about what the Lakers gonna do. Like that.
Once again, you're talking about who generates the most buzz.
Yeah, obviously, you're always gonna have Lakers fans, but this will be if the Clippers.
The Knicks lose every year.
They're not gonna just get washed away. It's gonna be.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's like the thing about Kawhi. Like, I don't mind his brand, and he can do what he wants to do. And I'm different. I'm gonna go play for the Clippers. I'm gonna sign with New Balance. I'm not gonna speak. I'm gonna be a mute. But that's fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that he can't do what he wants to do. But then don't complain on that other side when you've been avoiding doing all the things that bring a lot of people fame and glory. If that makes sense.
No, I don't agree with that.
Not me neither.
Even kind of like I kind of got hit to, like, even as a fan, I'll say sometimes that, all right, LeBron goes somewhere, and then once he builds the team how he wants to build it, and when he's done, it's like, all right, this team is like trash, because that literally was built to tailor to LeBron. But at the end of the day, Kawhi's an independent contractor working in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? He can sign any team he wants. He can do anything he wants. That's on them. If you're still gonna, I don't care. Like if you're gonna tell, it's my fault because I don't want to talk or I choose to do this. Like you got two options. You can tell me yes, you're gonna give this to me, or you can tell me no. So if you're gonna tell me I'm still gonna have my right to complain, I'm still gonna live the way I want to live, and because you don't like the way I'm living, you're gonna say I'm not allowed to complain. Hell no, you got the right to tell me yes or no.
Well, but what I'm saying is like I don't think that like for you to say that Kawhi is gonna if they win a championship this year, he becomes better than who? Like yo, who's he leapfrogging in the top 10? Is he leapfrogging Kobe, Bird, Magic, Jordan, Kareem? Like
that's why I said 12 because to me he'll jump Curry, he'll jump KD. Those are the guys that was in the 12 to 14th ranking. And he jumps those guys.
Why would he jump those guys?
They say it now.
Finals.
Like at the end of the day, what us fans say, it don't matter. It matters what the media put out there, and that's what the media's put out there.
Yo, listen. Here's how the media will say. Let's say the Clippers win, right? They'll say, "Oh, Kawhi has a better career than Bron." They'll say that he's a top 10 player. Then let's say next year starts, they don't win a championship. It'll be back to he's just like not in that top 10, top 15, top 20 more because yo, listen, right? And I like noticed that like the only way players can really get that media to just be quiet is you have to win. Like yo, Shannon Sharp, who I like to watch, he's funny. I watch his clips. Zine sends me clips. It's hilarious. I love what he talks about social justice, right? After Tom Brady won that 5th Super Bowl, he said, listen, when they beat the Falcons, he said, listen, he's the best ever to touch a football. I never seen nothing like this in my life. Like the dude's incredible. But I can't say nothing about him not being the GOAT anymore. Then as time goes, they make it all the way back to the next Super Bowl. He throws for 500 yards, but because they lose, now it's Joe Montana's the GOAT. Then they make it back to the Super Bowl. He wins it.
You're off topic. You're going on a roll.
He's a top 5 player.
You're not.
Just saying that. I already know. Like, yo, I can already, listen, the reason why I sent that writings to the chat 5 years ago is because I know how it ebbs and how it flows. Like, yo,
all right, so just sit there and admit that if Kawhi does that.
Because what I'm going to say is like, all right, let's say Bron wins the championship this year. They're going to say, oh, this championship really counts for 2, so the one in Cleveland counted for 2. Like, and they're going to start doing that funny math to try to make it say he's better than Mike. But if he loses, and Z's smiling because he knows I'm right, if LeBron loses the chip, all that Michael Jordan comparison talk is done and over. Then if he,
as it should be.
But it don't. But that, I don't like the correlation. I'm trying to like compare is if Brady loses a chip, they say Joe Montana's better. Cool, but Brady's still a top 5 player of all time. Whether he's not the best, he's still a top 5 player of all time. If LeBron loses this chip this year, okay, you can't compare him to Mike no more, but you're still gonna say he's a top 10 great of all time.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just using that how they'll switch up.
So you don't think how Kawhi? We're not saying that Kawhi's the best to ever play the game, but if he wins it,
but I'm telling you,
I can 3 teams.
But what I'm saying is, I already know who the people are who are gonna say what. Like, let's say the Clippers win the chip. They beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. They win the chip. Max Kellerman, Rob Parker, and a few others say that Kawhi's had a better career than Bron.
Hey, all I know is you have 3 rings, just like Bron. He would have went to
teams?
5 or 3 different
that's like
teams.
A crazy. That's not just like a
right. That's not no rinky-dink type situation. Yeah, and on top of that, you're the final MVP, and then on top of that, you've been to 6 finals.
Listen, I don't even like Bron. I don't like Bron like that. Wait, Kawhi's been to 6 finals? That was 4.
Or to be like
4 finals.
No, you went
2, 4.
He went 3.
3. He went 3.
Spurs.
Yeah. 2 Spurs and 1.
Toronto.
Oh, all right. My pop.
I mean, and I mean,
Okay, yeah.
so you can say, okay, 3 championships here, 3 championships there. I don't even like LeBron, so it's hard for me to even really just to say this. But yo, LeBron got 4 MVPs. He got scoring titles. Like he's done too much to even bring that up. Now, if Kawhi goes on to win 5 or 6, that's a different topic.
I mean,
we just gotta wait and see. But all I know is,
but they definitely. If somebody said to me he's a top 12 player of all time after he wins this year, I wouldn't be like, yo, you're tripping. I would be like,
right,
valid. The Toronto Raptors were never even close to a finals before he got there. And
well, they kind of were. They went to the Eastern.
How though? They weren't even. They weren't.
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 or 3 years in a row. That means you're close.
But I mean, like,
he leaves. And when he leaves, they're the 2 seed. So
I think you're so much of a Lakers fan, you'll downplay we got to talk. To the finals.
Listen. When Kawhi, I don't want to hear about downplaying Kawhi. When Zemo always brings up that injury in 2017, you say that they would have won anyway.
But that's not me. But I believe Kawhi would have been tough to deal with, yes. But I don't think they would have had enough to beat us 4 times.
And I'm saying that Kawhi's a great player, but I'm not putting him in the top 10, 12, 15 discussion, at least not yet.
Well, I don't know.
3 finals MVPs.
Yeah. To me, I look at what he had accomplished, and this is just my own personal thing. I find that more astonishing than what Curry and KD did. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, listen, y'all tell me Clippers got the best roster.
I like Clippers.
We'll see.
So who has the best roster in the league right now? You guys feel?
Clippers. Not for nothing.
Clippers.
Kawhi and PG, they're gonna go. They the way they play with the ball, they go get it. They go.
Yo, I'm so looking forward to the playoffs.
I
can't wait either.
Especially hearing this Paul George talk from the guy in my upper left hand corner.
He got a big bro. He don't got to be scared.
Yeah. Huh?
Bro's there. You don't got to be scared.
I mean,
Danny Granger wasn't that guy. Roy Hibbert wasn't that guy. David West wasn't that guy.
And who else wasn't that guy? Who else wasn't that guy that played with Paul George?
Russell
Westbrook. Yeah, he wasn't that guy. Yeah.
I was just wondering. So you guys have a finals prediction of Clippers versus who?
Clippers versus shit. I think I don't know. The East is tough. I want to say the Raptors, but I think in the finals, unless Siakam plays out of his mind, I think you need a star to get to the finals. So I'll go Bucks. Clippers Bucks.
Yeah, I got Clippers Bucks as well. I'm just rooting. I just like Nick Nurse. I just like what he's doing down there. Spicy P. I just like those group of guys because they took GSW out and ended that dynasty. So they have a special place in my heart. But I got to go with Greek Freak. He's just playing at an ultimate level. And not for nothing, his supporting cast, Middleton, the Lopez brothers, Wesley Matthews actually looked decent out there. Bledsoe, hopefully he steps up. But I like George Hill. I would have made a simple lock if they still had Malcolm Brogdon, but I'm just gonna go Greek Freak and the Clippers.
I'm gonna say Lakers Celtics. I'm gonna be different. But one thing Bubble has shown me is that I think that Giannis is the best player in the league. I think he's the best player in the league.
Yeah, he is. But what kills him, bro,
it's the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, he got to get some moves. I think his shoulders are too broad. He's never going to be able to shoot.
Right. I think they need like a 6-man. They need like a 6-man, if they had like a TJ Warren that could come in and create some offense. Because Middleton's a good second option, but he really can't create. He's just more of a shooter.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know. Sometimes with Greek, do they last 2 minutes? Do they just tell him, yo, go post up, don't bring the ball up the court?
I just think that when the last 2 minutes, they're not calling as many fouls. Everything tightens up. The spacing is less. It's just tough. In that last 2 minutes to win a chip, if you look at the last however many years, you need somebody that can really go get it or has a super refined post game, and they don't have anybody there yet. I don't think.
he's liable to try to Euro on 3 people and like there's
Right.
and he's still trying to go.
And not for nothing, that game against Rockets, he got, I don't want to say exposed, but it was reminiscent of what the Raptors did to him those last 4 games. He's built a wall, and he still has not created the skill set to distribute accurately. You know what I mean? So he's gonna, we'll see how it is. I'll give him a chance.
Yo, Greek Freak. The only reason why I say he's the best player and not like a LeBron or Kawhi is because even Kawhi's defense is taking kind of a back seat as he become a greater offensive player. And Greek Freak is unbelievable on defense. Unbelievable.
I'll give you that.
And Anthony Davis, man, he can't be from Chicago, bro. He got to be from like outside Chicago or something like that.
You see what happens? It's the LeBron effect. AD getting his lashings now.
It's true. That is true.
You see it?
They did it to Kyrie. That's how Kyrie went crazy.
Nah, there was
Wade.
I don't agree with that fully because I feel like there was always doubts about AD when he was on the Pelicans, saying that he had 7 to 8 years with that team and never really made it anywhere. I never heard no talk about AD being in that like LeBron, Curry, KD, Kawhi class. And you made a good point in the chat. LeBron should have made him like the focal point this year. And he didn't do that.
He's been trying.
He's not the focal point in the media. I never seen
the media
team in minutes, rebounds, points, blocks, pretty much everything, and he's not the MVP candidate.
Yeah, but this is my only thing, and then we can move on to the next one. That happened because the numbers he had this year, these are not his best numbers he ever put up. He put up better numbers in New Orleans. He put up better numbers aside DeMarcus Cousins when he was 28 plus. But now he's putting up those numbers and wins in the number 1 seed. They know that that's the LeBron effect. LeBron been a number 1 seed before.
Yeah,
plenty of times.
He literally didn't make the playoffs in the West.
Yeah, but last year he didn't make it.
But he missed 40
We don't know what would have
games.
happened. He had a good schedule, to be honest, and to go over like the whatever you want to call it.
But he missed 27 games though. Like,
he also had different schedule the first half of the season last year.
I think
you play who's in front of you. You play who's in front of you.
You just told me Spurs hard season.
No, I'm not doing ifs. I'm not doing assumes or like we got to go what happened. He got hurt.
He didn't make it.
Yeah, I know, and he missed all those games.
Even when he was healthy, when they beat Golden State on Christmas, they played the 4 or 5 seed, like the clear-cut number 1 team in the conference.
And then when he came back, there was the 9th, 10th seed. So
and I
keep it real.
I'm not even talking about what happened when he came back. I'm just talking about when he was fully healthy and he was playing every game. They were the 4 or 5 seed.
All right, and that's good in the West.
What do you want from the Western Conference semis? Western Conference semis
but now they're the number 1 seed, so they traded their whole team and brought in 1 guy, and now they're the 1 seed. Like, come on, man. Like,
you can't say LeBron's the reason, bro.
I think that you guys' mentality on that's kind of flawed, but that's LeBron low key. Like, there's a reason why. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen AD do this plenty of times and brought Pelicans where?
To the second round. He upset the 3rd seed in the playoffs as a 6th seed.
What was that? The Blazers when he went off?
Yeah, and he won to the second, and he won games in the second round.
I don't know. We can't say LeBron leads the whole league in assists and just be like,
but AD leads in rebounding points, minutes per game, blocks. Like, it's not just like I'm just saying, all right, you need an assist.
All right, so maybe it's the being year 17 narrative. Maybe that's what's helping LeBron. That could be it.
Yo, so I'm gonna move us to our next topic. So we've been having a hot debate on this podcast in the chat. Is college football gonna even happen this year? What are y'all thoughts? Have y'all changed?
Man, I can't lie. No, I was puffing my chest out. Big bank, take little bank. Colleges need that money, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, the only reason why I'm still on it now, because now I see Trevor Lawrence and all these players saying that they want to play. The hashtag is we want to play, but we want to play with insurances. If we decide not to play, we get another year of eligibility just in case it cut short because of a spike in COVID, whatever the case may be. And they're taking advantage of the situations of just protesting in United. So I seen the MAC cancel their football team. I seen Connecticut cancel their football team. Pac-12 with the We Stand United type situation. So I'm going to stick my ground and say that we still have football, but on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm very, very concerned, I'm at an 8. I'm not going to lie.
I think they're going to play. I just think, like, I don't know. It's one of those things we got to wait to see. But if I could guess, I would say they're going to play. Like, the media is going to put out shit every day about why they're not going to play, why they are going to play. X, Y, and Z is always going to go back and forth. I saw my college coach yesterday, and he kind of was, like, getting a conversation. And he just said, like, from a Division I standpoint, they lost so much money last year as far as, like, college basketball not happening that there have been discussions and seen everything with the NBA bubble that there may be a July madness now. So, like, football could kind of, like, push forward a little bit. So that's been, like, in the conversation. So I think it will really – I don't believe the media now as far as saying it's not going to play versus it is going to play. That's my personal opinion. Thinking they're going to play, I think that it's literally going to have to – for them not to, it's going to have to be to the point where, like, we've tried every option and this realistically can't happen. I think that's the only way they pull the plug on it. It's too much money to kind of just say no without at least trying it first.
Right.
It's interesting because I think that the Big Ten said they're not going to play. So the Big Ten's not going to play because what happened was the University of Indiana had a kid get the virus and then almost died in the hospital, and they were like keeping it from the parent, and the parent started speaking out to the local media, and ever since every school in the Big Ten's been reporting like all their coronavirus issues and what have you. And I also read that 2 of the presidents of the Big Ten, they have PhDs in epidemiology, which is like does that handle something like this? So they voted 12 to 2 to cancel the season. So the Big Ten's not going to play. I'm going to assume the Pac-10's probably not going to play because there's 3 or 4 California schools, and California's not going to let it happen. I think that the SEC, ACC, and the Big 12 are going to be interesting cases. I think the SEC will be the last people to actually cancel, but I do not think that there will be college football this year.
You see what happened with Washington State?
Yeah.
They was telling their players to cover up and not report about testing positive just to make numbers look low. So it's not looking good, bro. So that's why I said my concern level went to an 8. But I agree with that they're gonna at least try to say that we tried and it is what it is. But that's why these players are like, well, if you're gonna try and you get us out there, we shouldn't be losing a year eligibility. With all the shit coming out that, it can affect you long terms. What's the insurance policy? So I respect all that, players united in that regard, man, but it's nuts. And then I was watching and they made up a great point today that, what the ADs and coaches want to do is move it to the spring. But then next you're going to miss all your first-round draft picks, the heavy hitters, not playing because they don't want to get injured close to the NFL draft, which is staying on par. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lose-lose situation. So I think they should go out and try if their heart's into it. But whatever the case may be, I told DJ the other day, man, he's not playing football this year. And that's just me personally as a parent decision that it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me because you ain't getting paid. You ain't no scholarship. It ain't worth it. These parents just be out in the stands just neglecting all social distancing and all that stuff, coughing and drinking on each other. I don't know. To me, football is just more of a contact sport. Let's get on top of each other and sweat, and I'm not with that. You know what I mean?
I knew the season was in trouble when they kept pushing the start date back.
Right.
I feel bad because I do feel like imagine you're a student athlete, and you want to play, and that's bothering me a little bit. Like, I know me and Dot was talking about it in the chat. Like, what Trevor Lawrence said was low key coded racist language. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going that far. Like, he was just like, it was realistic. Like, sometimes it ain't racist just to speak on some of the neighborhoods that some people may or may not come from. And I think he meant that in general. Rich, poor, whatever, you being at home and you going to the grocery store and having these, situations, it's bound to happen on a football field if you're getting tested every day, if you have the PPE to make sure that you're safe. Like, I don't want to label Trevor like that, man. He seems like a kid with a good mentality, a head on his shoulder. And that's me looking from a distance, but I just don't think that was race bait comment that he tried to articulate.
I don't think he meant to, and that's what me and Doc said, like, but it didn't really come from him. He's just regurgitating what he's hearing all the adults say. And the thing about it is that the NCAA wouldn't have this problem if they had been doing the right thing from the jump, paying the players. Now that the Power 5 conferences want to take away the power from the NCAA and do their own thing, there's nothing stopping them from paying those guys. Because now you're not under the NCAA umbrella. Now you're just under your conference. Pay them. If you want to play, pay them. Simple. Now they're not volunteering. Now they're actual employees, like the NFL, right, like the NBA, like the NHL, like everything else.
Yeah,
right. Now I hear you on that one.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like one of the things that Trevor did say, I mean, it is probably going to be worse for some kids if they're not having like the structure. Like, some people like live and die for their sport. Like, that keeps them like, locked in, doing their schoolwork, like, having like a schedule. And I think that's going to affect a lot of kids. And all in all, if there's no sports and it's virtual learning, what are college kids eventually going to do? So are we really going to stop cases by stopping sports? Like, won't it just be another? I don't think unless everything's closed down, or like crazy rules are enforced, what's really going to make like, social distancing in effect versus like or maybe like you just can't have that on you as like, a football team. That was a mean dunk by AD.
Yeah. I don't know if it count. Did it count it? But oh my God.
Yeah, that was mean.
Holy,
he always bullied Jokic.
Yeah.
He does. You don't respect him as an athlete. Like, he just looks at him like, nigga, you don't even get in the gym. You don't even pick up weights. You just backing your ass into everybody. Oh, wow, that did count. That's all Jokic does.
Yo, I think that people think that, like, he dominates smaller players, but he actually like, he was killing Rudy Gobert, too.
Who, Jokic?
No, Davis.
He did.
Yeah, he's too fast. He's too athletic.
But then that's what they're going to say. Oh, Gobert's slow-footed,
Yeah.
That's what they're going to kill.
I don't know. He's nice, man.
He is. I don't. Why he get so much media hate though? Like, why you get that?
If you know that.
No. But it started way before he joined with LeBron.
Yeah, I'm saying, you know why?
But if you notice, like, not everyone can win the chip, bro. Like, if you heard that against guys like, yo, Dame Lillard, he's like, so let's talk about Dame a little bit.
They killed him today. Well, killed him today.
So, but it's like, it's like Dame has brought that Portland franchise as far as he possibly could. They wasn't ever going to beat the Warriors. They didn't have enough talent, with or without Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, like I don't understand, like, what more do you want from a 6'2" guard?
I'll say this. I'm sorry to cut you off, Doc. The only thing that I was with Skip was you had double digit 15 plus lead on those Golden State Warriors without KD and blew them all. And then in this bubble, you're struggling with a no Embiid, Ben Simmons 76ers. You almost blew, you blew the 2 free throws when the Clippers were trying to lose on purpose. So I get it, 6'2", you're only limited of what you can do. But Dame, to me, is a superstar, so I disagree with Skip in that regard. But, he has to deserve his lashings, especially if you're going to be showboating, pointing to your wrist, talking all this stuff, rap star this.
Everyone does that. Everyone does that except for Kawhi. Everyone flexes and does mad stuff like antics. Same in chat.
Okay, so receive the criticism like everybody else.
I don't think Skip was wrong. And I don't think Josh is wrong. It's just Portland's just never gonna win. I can't ever see Portland win an NBA championship in the West. I've never seen that happening. If it does, good for them. But he also he's right. Like Curry, bro. How people hate Curry for the way he shoots a 3 and walks the other way. How he does a little shimmy, but he wins. Mm-hmm. Game does that. The Pat Bev, you lose a game, they're gonna remember when CP was killing us in the playoffs? He did the shit on Steph. That was just right. If you showboat when you're not doing well, someone's gonna try to show you.
And I can't lie, that when he did this, that's tough.
That's tough. I'm surprised PG didn't want to fight him after that.
Right.
Well, I mean, I just think that it's the only player I can really say, from this era, I think that deserves a good amount of criticism for not winning the chip. I don't view Russell Westbrook the same way you do, Zeem. I do give him credit for being incredible, but you view him at a higher rate than I do. I think, and he's one of my favorite players, but Harden deserves a lot of criticism because one thing if his playoff performance was the same as his regular season. And they would
right.
I could he's just not like that. But he shrinks and minimizes in the playoffs. So I understand why he gets a lot of criticism. But I'm not gonna criticize Jokic for not winning the chip. I'm not gonna criticize Dame for not winning the chip. I'm not gonna criticize Jason Tatum and Kemba for not winning the chip. You know what I mean?
Why? Wait. Tell me why though. That's bizarre. Because you don't see him as good as Harden and Russell.
Because the way that I view it is we come into the season already knowing who's going to win the chip. There's 2 or 3 teams. Very, very rarely does a team come out the blue. And I think that when Dirk won the chip was they were kind of a surprise, knocking at the door for 4 or 5 different years. Then last year when the Raptors won it, it was kind of a surprise. I think every other year has been we pretty much know who the best teams are. I don't view some of these teams as championship threats. Houston has Westbrook and Harden. They should those guys at the point in their careers, in their primes. Do
you think? Granted, those 2 guys are great players. Do you feel like they have a talented enough team?
Yeah.
Houston?
Yeah, Houston.
But Houston has the talent, but the way they play, they're never gonna win them a chip.
Yeah,
so you think Covington, Green, House, Ben McLemore, Rivers? Or you think?
Once you won.
No, I'm just saying.
Hold on, but look at the Lakers. The Lakers have LeBron and then AD and
KCP. And you used to always talk about Golden State, but after the we got shot, bro. Iggy, they're not that nice, bro. They good.
This is what he loses me, Jiggy. This is what I just feel like.
So Josh, be real, Josh. When Clay got hurt, how awful was that product out there?
They were all right. So here's the thing about Golden State, right? So Golden State's a dynasty that spanned 5 years. What people what you do in your mind, you don't realize you're doing it. Is you're combining the 2 different groups. There's Golden State pre-KD and Golden State with KD. And with KD, they lost their depth, but they were top heavy with great players. The team before that had they had Steph, Clay, and Draymond, but then just all mainly role guys after that. So
Barbosa. Come on.
yeah, like so.
Take Curry off that team. Leonardo Barbosa.
Nice. The
Maurice
blur.
Space. He's not that nice, bro. He played his role well, but he's not that nice.
Maurice Space was in a 6-man conversation for a little while during the
Golden State.
Yeah, Maurice Space.
He wasn't.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
Yeah, what the hell?
Maybe in Phoenix when he was younger. I don't remember. But
maybe Philly. I don't know.
But yo, bringing us back. Who was a championship level team this year? How many are there? It's 2 LA teams, right? Everybody.
2 LA teams. Houston Rockets, Bucks, Celtics. You remember when they made the cover of the best starting 5 in the whole whatever?
Yeah, but that was before.
In the 76ers.
Now I'm saying, but listen, Boston, they had the best starting 5 when Horford was on their team pre.
No. I'm talking this year. They made the cover of Slam or whatever authentication of the best starting 5 in the NBA.
You're gonna have to show me that because I don't.
I'll put it in the chat.
No lie.
This year.
I think if Gordon Hayward doesn't get hurt, that first game of the season, that Celtics team is way different. Kyrie was bonkers Game 7 against LeBron, and then
I mean, injuries happen, man. You know what I'm saying? And Gordon Hayward got brought in as like an all-star. Now he's just getting back to like who he was because he had a nasty injury.
And now it's like if you ever watch the Celtics play, it's kind of like they ice him out. They just throw everything to Tatum and Brown, and it's like, all right, Gordon. After we done, we're gonna get your shots up.
I was screaming Brad Stevens. He's down with the BLM cause, but then I forgot he coached Gordon Hayward in college. Yeah. So someone brought that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But what I love about Gordon Hayward, I know I hate on him a lot, but he's inconsistent, but he stays consistent. He always plays hard. He gets the loose balls. He does the little grimy stuff. He plays the best defender. Offensive player on the other team. Like he's solid, but he's just a great white hype, man. He's all hype.
No. He was good, bro. That injury was like career threatening.
How many years you gonna give him this injury?
You gotta. So look at D Rose. D Rose is just now finally starting to be like somewhat like the old D Rose.
I'll give you that. Because I was going to say, Paul George, it did take Paul George maybe 2-3 years. This is
Paul George been 6 surgeries. So
yeah.
But the thing about Paul George is that I thought his trajectory was going to be even higher than it is now. So the fact he's maybe a top 10, 12, 15 player in the league, I feel like he was destined to be like a top 5, and that injury kind of like took him down a little bit.
Nah, I'll give you that. He said that in his tweet too, in his beef with Dame.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Like, there's like lots of guys where I'm like, all right, like, yo, if Kawhi don't win it this year, if LeBron don't win it this year, if the Bucks don't win it this year, like, yeah, you can start coming at dudes. Like, yo, like, you guys were supposed to win. But it's like, it's just like a pointless exercise to be like, oh my God, like, Denver is never going to win with Jokic. It's like, bro, like, y'all expected them to win the chip?
It happens, though. That's what they do. And not for nothing, we got to give the Nuggets. Nuggets were formidable title contenders of the success that they had last year as well.
I don't know.
Nuggets is too. I feel like Nuggets are too young, and they got to get a Millsap and get a star in there, like, or one of them got to develop into like
Michael Porter.
Yeah, this is Millsap's last year in the starting lineup. It's gonna be
Millsap's done. I never really got the hype on Millsap.
Millsap,
he balled in Atlanta.
Millsap was good, but the reason why you didn't like him is because some people in the media were saying that he was better than Melo.
Oh yeah, they was disrespectful.
Oh yeah,
that's why you didn't like him. So
shout out my boy Carmelo.
Let's talk about Melo.
I like the way you say the way you say Carmelo, so you gotta say it too. But shout out my boy Carmelo, 15th all-time NBA scoring list. Looking like he's gonna be 14th by the time we get out of this bubble. Zim, can you give me your thoughts on that a little bit?
Nah, congratulations making it, doing all that scoring. Definitely appreciate him. I can't hate Skinny Melo. I apologize. You're doing what you need to do. And I'm really more appreciative on the defensive end. He really grabs every freaking board. And it's just like, I don't know if they're doing a Russell Westbrook effect. Everyone get out of there and let him get it, because I think that's what's really going on. But I like his timely shooting and his mid-range efficiency. So I'll give him his credit. I ain't going to hate, you know what I mean? But he's going to show his ass in playoffs again. We'll see.
Well,
I'm not going too hype off this bubble, Melo.
Yo, I already gave Dot my formal apology because I've been trolling Dot about Melo since the beginning of the chat. So I'm happy Melo found a good spot, and I think that what turned me against Melo was OKC. I think he was just bad in OKC, and it seems like
no, but I don't like no. I already know what you're about to allude to.
No, I'm not.
Talk about what happened in Houston. You know he played in Houston, but after OKC.
He played a couple of games, and he actually had how many games he played in Houston? 10? And he actually was playing very well.
I don't know. That's what sullied his career and name. Not what happened in OKC. What happened in Houston and how they disrespected him.
Well, Houston, he really didn't play much.
Yeah, he did.
He played 10 games. Yo, this kid does this. Yo, I don't. You know why he's doing this? Because he wants to. He thinks he's gonna go the Westbrook route, and he wants to protect Westbrook so bad.
I'm not saying nothing about.
But that's why he's doing it. That's why he's doing, because he thought you were going to say Westbrook.
I just think that we all kind of assume like, all right, you have Russell Westbrook as the top guy, Paul George as the number 2, Melo and Steven Adams are like the 3, 4. However you want to view them, but they're both like mad effective in different ways. Like Adams is like the rebounder, defender, big man. And then Melo is like that is that scoring punch. I think that it just wasn't the right fit, because even Paul George isn't like a high volume shooter, but he shot enough where it just wasn't really working with Melo. And I think that the Houston thing was never gonna work anyway. That was just like whatever. But I think that him
that was just whatever. Now it's just whatever.
I just, like it wasn't working. Like not everything. Like
you know why I respect Melo? Because Melo actually came out and said he didn't put his best foot forward in OKC, body wise, defensively wise. He admitted to that, and it was this time away from the game that made him change his body and everything. So, you're going on this tangent about fit and all this stuff.
Yo, KD, we gotta go down the line. KD, the way he played in OKC, get the ball, just shoot it. Swing, shoot it. Paul George played the same way as KD played. It's just your man, It's the man, dude. Your man's the.
I don't know. All I know is KD.
If they see OKC, you're gonna learn. If they see OKC, you're gonna learn.
All I know is Kevin Durant won an MVP playing alongside Russell Westbrook, multiple scoring titles alongside Russell Westbrook. They made it to the NBA Finals alongside Russell Westbrook.
What he did when he went to that better situation.
I'll say that. Then what are you talking about? Better, better team, better talent. Like if you had to go chase that ring.
Cool. Why do you think OKC?
Paul George, was he not in the MVP candidate, top 2 or 3 last year?
Well, what did they do? They lost in the first round.
Because it happens. People get hurt. It happens. I remember when the Golden State Warriors beat the
Wait, time out. This segment's about Melo. Let's show Melo love. Let me get back to what I was saying. I think that Portland is the right situation where they have really good coaching. They have a good organization, and they have guys that really wanted Melo there. So when Melo's coming in the situation, he's entering. So when he left the Knicks and went to OKC and Houston, and then eventually ended in Portland, sometimes it takes you a while to just know, like, all right, I have to play completely different. And it took Melo a little while, but then the guys in Portland also were like, kind of like, yo, like, we really want you here. We've been trying to get you here. So Melo's been playing good, and the organization found the right situation for him, and I'm not mad at it. And I'm not the biggest Melo fan, but he's been playing good. Playoffs, if they make it, it's going to be a tough matchup versus LBJ, maybe having to guard him. But Yo, listen, he was out the league. He finds the right situation, and he's like the fourth best player on a playoff team. And they
wait till next year.
And they would be a higher seed if Nurkic and Collins was healthy all year. Because even though I'm showing love to Melo, I think he's the fourth best player on that team as a 36-year-old. Melo is Dame, CJ, Nurkic, and then Melo's right there. He's playing well. So I have to give my apology. I want to make it public and private. But, I mean, we'll see. But Melo's been playing well. Zine, you have to stop protecting Westbrook. You have to stop it.
There's nothing to protect. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And so it's Melo.
One of the best. Yeah, Melo is. Yeah, I can't dispute it. But
yo, Westbrook
individual wise, Russell Westbrook had
Westbrook is
Carmelo Anthony.
Westbrook is good TV. Westbrook is good TV, but he's not a winner. He's good TV.
Well, what is Melo? Definitely not a winner then.
He's been to the Western Conference Finals as the best player. Don't you ever play yourself. He's been to the Western Conference Finals as the best player. And he's been the number two seed as the best player on the team.
Yo, all I know is Russell Westbrook made the finals before.
Imagine if Melo had PG.
Imagine if.
Imagine if Melo had PG.
Imagine. We'll see. He has Dame Dollar now, so good luck.
He's 36 now.
Man, I'm off this, man. I'm sick of you guys, man. Yo, Russell Westbrook, best point guard in the NBA. You heard it here first.
Steph Curry.
Nah,
what?
Nah. Best.
Let me guess. Alex Caruso?
James Harden.
Harden's the point guard now?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying?
Good answer. You don't have a good answer.
Yeah, I'm off this, yo.
Yo, another great episode. Yo, there's a few things I want to touch on social justice-wise, but I'll wait till more comes out over the next few weeks. But, man, like, the white lady cop that killed that black dude in his apartment, Amber Tiger, is petitioning for a lighter sentence.
Oh, I thought you were about to say they're about to take her out. I'm about to go right now.
She might.
Is that the one where the brothers like God forgive her, all this stuff like that?
Yes.
God. And I thought they already gave her a lighter sentence.
They did, but she asked for more.
Nah, wow. This is getting out of hand now, man.
So we'll touch on that next week, man. Another great episode. I'm putting this up tomorrow morning at 8. I'm gonna set the rest of this Lakers W. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all ready.
Good luck.
You fucking chumps. I'm out of here.